we are going to start working on our everyday makeup look. So, this is going to be one of your favorite portions of this section. And so, we're going to go ahead and get started. We have already washed and cleansed our model for today. And so, now we're going to go in and we're going to apply primer. We're going to apply it to her cheeks, the bridge of her nose, her forehead, and her chin area. And the reason being we're doing the primer is so that we create a foundation that prevents any kind of humidity or perspiration for her makeup so that it can stay on all day and then have a really long lasting effect. And now we're going to go in and do our brows. First, you want to make sure that you have brushed your brows in the direction in which they naturally flow and grow. Making sure they're already previously arched or waxed of some kind so that you can make sure that they create a guide for you to put your makeup on. And they just create soft, neat eyebrows when they are already previously groomed. So that when you do your brows, you don't have to overwork in creating a shape. And it's just not a whole lot of brow. So now we're going in and we're creating soft, feathery strokes. Going in lightly with my pencil. I'm not going in like this and just putting lines on. We're going to go in softly and we're creating soft feathery strokes for our brows. Going from the bottom up to the top. And when we do our side, we bring it down to meet where the bottom line already is. So you have your bottom line, which is right here. Then you have your top, which is up here. So when you get over here, you want to make it meet so that the eyebrow looks natural and it flows. If you got too much pencil, or if it's too dark, or you don't like it, you can take your spoolie and you can get rid of the color. So now we're going to go over to our other area. And do the same thing. So we're creating soft feathery strokes. From the bottom, and then we're connecting on top. Now don't be afraid to take as much time as you're going to need on creating these brows, because what you do when you're doing your brows and you're doing them accurately, then you don't have to go back and try to fix them. Brows are a very pivotal point when you're doing your makeup to make sure they're done right. You take your spoolie, making sure that you're brushing to make sure that all of your brow pencil is evenly distributed, because when you're putting it on, even though you're being light-handed, it's no way for you to fully tell what's where. So when you use your spoolie, it allows you to move that product. So even if you have it in the middle, don't stress. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of all of that. So now we're gonna follow up and we're going to define these brows. And we're gonna go in with a cream. And what we're doing is we're starting at the front from the bottom. We're using a concealer. We're using a flat brush. And now we are creating definition to these eyebrows. So any area that you might have use your eyebrow pencil on that you don't like, this is the time for you to cover that up. So you're going to have to be steady with your hand and go lightly to ensure that both eyebrows are even. You can take some of your concealer and just kind of create a little small line just to make sure they're even on both sides. That way you can make sure that both eyebrows are going to be pretty much even. So that way one won't be down, one won't be starting up. They'll be both starting at the same place. And because this is your everyday makeup look, you want to make sure that you get a concealer that's kind of close to your skin complexion. You don't want something that's going to be too light, and definitely not something that's going to be too dark, because again, this is your everyday look. So you don't need a whole lot of color. You just want something that's going to go in and create the definition that you need for your eyebrows. When you do the top, do a little bit at a time. Don't try to take your concealer and go all the way over your brows, because just our hands sometimes are just not steady. It'll give you time to breathe. Your client or yourself can be blinking, and so you want to do a little bit at a time. We're taking that same color that we used on the bottom, because this is your everyday look. You want to make sure that you don't want no halo, so that's why you're using the same color. And you want that, make sure that color kind of matches your skin tone. And we're smoothing out that product. Remember, you're only doing a little bit at a time. Now, if you're doing this on yourself, and you want to make sure that you get you a really close-up mirror, and that'll help, so that you won't put it in places or put it on an area that you've already kind of put together when you're doing your eyebrows. If you've already done that part perfectly, you have to go back and fix it, you're going to be probably kind of a little mad at yourself. So that's why I say don't be afraid to get you a smaller mirror, so that you can get all of the defined area, get to the area or the portion of your face that you're trying to get to, in case you can't see in a mirror. You got to get as close up as possible. So I'm right up on my model. So you see how I'm getting rid of that extra product? So that's why I say you don't have to be afraid if you got product in places that you don't really want it, because you can always go back and get rid of that product. So now we're going to go in and we're just going to pull this product down. So we're buffing it out because we want to make sure it's flat, because this is just your everyday makeup look. So we're not doing a whole lot. So now that we got it all buffed out, it's super flat. It looks extra seamless, so that it looks like a natural brow. And we're using our foundation brush to just buff out this extra product. And now we're going to go in and we're going to apply foundation. So for our model today, we're going to make sure that we kind of get rid of, if you got any kind of spots, before we go in and do our foundation, if you got any kind of spots, you can use a color corrector just to get toned down the color of those spots, so that when you put your foundation on, you won't have to overly use your foundation. So now we're just going to go in and we're going to, and you can put this on the back of your hand, your foundation, or you can just put it on your, just put a few dots on your face, so that, like I said, you don't overuse it, or that it doesn't, you don't want it all over your hand and you're kind of in a rush, you can just kind of take it and do a little dab. So I'm using 2 different colors, but that's just to match up her skin tone perfectly. So I want to make sure I get every area. Taking a little setting spray. And we're going to press that product in. And we're just pressing that product in with this flat foundation brush. And we'll get into every area. And I'm just taking a little bit of the extra product and going across her eyes. And now I'm just going to go in just to add a little depth to her eyebrow, to her brows, her eye area, and I'm just going to add in just a little soft brown. Just creating a little depth. Nothing major. Going in with a blending brush. Creating a little depth to her eye area. Eyeliner. Look up for me. I'm gonna go in with just a little bit of powder. And this color matches her skin tone, so it's not a lot of color. We're using a big fluffy brush, a little bit of our Tone and Glow by Candy Girl Cosmetics. I'm also gonna go in and do a little bit of highlight just on her cheeks, just to give her a little pop. Do a little bit on her nose, just a little glow, something very light. Because we're not doing a contour or a harsh look. And we're going to add a pop of color. Go in with a pop of color for these lips.